1606, the Susan Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery headed out for North America, carrying 105 passengers across the ocean. On the boats were members of the Virginia Company. Many died on the expedition, which was led by Christopher Newport. Many months later they arrived in North America. They explored around the land before they took port. They ended up by James River. Christopher had chosen here because it had deep water and was a very good defensive position. It took a few days before the settlers could settle in, but they already had problems once they did. First, they didn't realize other people had already claimed the land. These people were the Powhatan Indians, led by Wahansakak. But they were friendly. They liked to trade with the English people. The people who settled in Jamestown were also unfamiliar with the climate. They were not prepared to deal with the temperature and climate, and also the seasonal changes in weather. One of these changes in weather resulted in the winter of 1609. The winter of 1609 convinced most of the settlers to give up on their new life in America. Only 60 of the 214 settlers survived this winter, which was also hard on the Powhatans tribe. Tobacco had also become a big cash crop for Jamestown, which also led to slaves being brought in. The first documented Africans arrived in Virginia in 1619. They were from the Kingdom of Ndingo and Angola, West Central Africa. They had been captured by the Portuguese. The number of slaves significantly increased in the second half of the 17th century, replacing indentured servants as the primary source of labor.
On July 30th, 1619, newly appointed Governor Yeardley called for the first representative legislative assembly. This was the beginning of representative government in what is now the United States of America. This General Assembly was requested by settlers who wanted input in the laws governing them. After a series of events, including a 1622 war with the Powhatan Indians and misconduct among some of the Virginia Company's leaders in England, the Virginia Company was dissolved by the King in 1624, and Virginia became a royal colony. Jamestown continued as the center of Virginia's political and social life until 1699, when the seat of government moved to Williamsburg. In 1608, Captain Christopher Newport, commander of the 1607 Jamestown expedition, who had sailed back to England, returned to Virginia in January with settlers and goods. It was the first of a series of regular arrivals in the colony. John Smith was elected president of their governing council in the fall. Smith left for England the next fall, 1609, to recover from a wound caused by a gunpowder explosion, and never returned to Virginia. Acting Governor Sir Thomas Gates and other survivors of the Sea Venture arrived at Jamestown from Bermuda. He found the loot and coins, and the remaining 60 colonists there famished at the point of death. 30 others at Point Comfort fared much better. Gates established martial law to maintain order. This was another arrival of new settlers to the Jamestown colony. By 1609, progress had occurred in Jamestown. 40 acres were cleared, a well was dug, the church re-roofed, 20 cabins built, a blockhouse built at the Isthmus, and a new fort across the river from Jamestown. Leadership adopted a more aggressive policy towards the Powhatan people.